Why in the world does it need to know my location? You're gonna be kidding me. Anyway, so let's just need to stop this one. See if we can get it to, get some kind of screen maybe. Hello. Oh. There we go. Okay. So I got this little guy. See if we can fix something where I can just. That's not too easy. Like this. You get the sun. There we go. See. Yeah, there we go. Oh, it's not the best. Oh, well, it's better than. Isn't it good? Come on. Let's try to. There we go. That helped. Just give it a little light. It helped a lot. Maybe I can just put some. There we go. Oh, it's not easy. It went bad again. Try that one. See if we can. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, that didn't really. It's not so easy to turn and record. At least not with some. There we go. That help with some light, but if I turn that off, it seems to apparently go haywire. That's not good. Give me a break. Whatever the case, this sucks. This little device is not good. Now you can see how many amps these are from my 24 volts batteries. You see the amp going into my storage. You can see how many volts there is in the battery. You can see how many watts it's going in. 192.4 watts. But then you have all the secondary nonsense that just is. You don't have any reset button on this. So when you fix it too, you seem to get some peaks from the very beginning off. And of course, if you're starting out the unit, you start out the unit with the sun panels in the morning, it can't do it. It doesn't, it just turns on the display, and thereby you never really get the thing you actually want. See if this not going to be so helpful. It's pretty dark at the moment outside, so. But you get you have the amp hours, okay, fair and square, that's fine enough. You have the watt hours, that's fine enough. You have the amp peak, that's not good enough. And then you have the volt minimum, that doesn't make any sense either. And then you have the watt peak, doesn't make any sense either. Because again, it takes. You cut it off, you put it in, and then it just takes apparently the beginning maximum surge, and there's no way to reset it. Like 11.79 amp peak, the machine that I'm charging should only be able to do around 8. So you never get the idea of the peak. Like 315 watt peak, you know. I never, you know, maximum is 200, a little less than 200 watts. So you never get the idea in regards of how much is actually the maximum. And the voltage minimum is just doesn't work either. You know, I read the manual, and apparently it should work as I understand it, but it doesn't, you know. The idea with the volt minimum is that it's the smallest amount that has been on this device since you put it in. But that doesn't really work because it's jumping all over, you know. It's jumping around with the volt thing, you know. So something seems to be, you know, kind of, you know, doesn't seem to work as it should. I don't know what they had thought about, but yeah, you know, if there's something else out there that works better, then I would absolutely go with that, you know. There must be something that works better than this. Of course, in regards to doing 200 amps, that's another thing that it really doesn't do. That's a false declaration as well. In regards to the manual, I think it talks about 70 amps or something like that. But you gotta be kidding me! It says 200, right? So you expect it to be able to do 200 amps all the time, right? Yeah, well. So, you know, we still have problems in regards of, I guess it's that's not so easy. Let's try to get some light going here and see if we can. Nope. Apparently it's not that easy either too. Oh, there we go. But then we have something. There we go. That looked good for a moment. Well, there we go. So, and this is from the batteries. But again, these extra details that it goes through is just, you know, the watt hour is fine, the amp hour is fine, but I don't have problems in regards to, but the amp peak, bullshit. The volt minimum, bullshit. And thereby the watt peak, bullshit. You know. There should have been a reset button or something like that on it, so you can put it in, and after the peak thing had been done, that you could just push the reset, so you didn't have the peak surge of the amp peak and the watt peak and all that, and then you could actually have used it for something to make it, you know, so you could see how much actually has gone through the system, so you don't need to, you know, keep an eye on it. So you could actually have been closer to this, like, you know, let's say it maximum did 194 watts or something like that. Well, then it would, you know, fix it over here. But no. We want to have 300 watts, which is, you know, just, it's only in the beginning, you know, that it might made a surge of 300 watts, because this machine only take 200 watts. So, and the same thing with the solar panels. I have the same issue. And I thought I could, like in the morning, I could just have the thing, you know, fixed into it, and then it would automatically turn on when there was battery enough. But it doesn't. It lights up the blue thing, you know. The display, but there's no numbers, so it never starts. So you need, for it to start, you need to plug it out and plug it in again, and there goes the, you know, the whole idea of it again, because then you have the higher watt peak, you have the higher amperage peak, and, you know, and the idea with the volt minimum is that it's the lowest, you know, voltage that has been on the unit. They talk. I think it's, you know, they talk about if it's on one side or the other side, if it's on the going inside or going outside and all that. But the thing is, when you don't have load on it and you put the load on it, it will spike. You know, same thing with the solar panels. The solar panels voltage will be around 22.8 or something like that when there's no load on it. And when you put it in, of course, it will, give a surge or whatever it's called. It will get a higher peak. Apparently it just tries to, and the unit tries to fix and all that, and you just get this, these numbers that you can't use for anything, and it would be nice if there was a reset button so you could actually reset those datas. But yeah, the volt minimum, I don't get it. As I understand it from the manual, as I understood it, it should be, now it says 25.6, right? So when the voltage goes lower than that, it should follow along to say that that's the lowest, and then it should, so it should, in some sense follow along with the voltage at this point, because the battery should go down in voltage while charging up the device. So maybe it will work better in regards of, I'll see here. But yeah, not a single button to just reset it, to just, a reset button would have done it. And now we have problems in regards to the temperature. Well, I guess it is a little hot today, although the weather outside is just bad, Typical Danish bullshit weather, I guess. So, yeah, I would see if I could get something else. I know there are some other models out there and all that. At least I'm not satisfied with this one, for sure. It just doesn't... Why isn't there even a reset button or anything like that? So you could see, what is the maximum... maybe there's some maximum on the USB thing here, but I think that will probably burn off if I put it in. I see it says 5 volts, 0.49 amps. But do they have any stats on the maximum? I don't think this will actually, work, but power, voltage, cap. No, doesn't seem to be anything in regards to maximum. Just in regards to how many watt hours or milliamps that it has done and all that. But this is for smaller devices in regards of USB thing, I guess I can't take it out, but anyway, it's one of these things where you can have 4 USB A and USB C, and there's also some USB micro thing, but it works only to, I think, 5 amps or something, 4 or 5 amps, I think, that it's made for. 0.51 amps. So that's far from, well, it's not as high as it should be if I would, I probably will burn it off if I would try to put it in the middle of, but it doesn't seem to have peak stats anyway. But yeah, so not totally satisfied with this. It's nice to see that you can see how much is going into the unit. You can see the voltage, that's nice. You can see the amps going in and so forward, and that's nice. And you can see the maximum of the amp hours and the watt hours, and so that's nice. But the amperage peak just doesn't work when you have this surge. And the voltage doesn't seem to, again, the voltage minimum and the watt peak, doesn't really. And I thought I could, okay, I'll just start the solar panels in the morning and all that and just put it on and all that so it won't make a peak or anything like that. Nope, because the precision Wattmeter just doesn't want to start up. It just lights up and never starts up, so that's not working. Anyway, so you can also fix a battery to it apparently, but there's no battery cable for it. They didn't even put a battery cable plug for it. Nope, they didn't. So you can't even do that because it's a special plug. Of course, it's a new kind of plug that I don't have, of course. Because let's not keep to some kind of standard. Of course, that's just ridiculous, right? We have to have multiple weird, connectors and all that. It just makes it more difficult for everything. Anyway, the solar panels at the moment I haven't connected them, although I do wonder if I could actually connect them with the batteries. If that actually would be possible. Probably not the greatest idea, but I wonder if it's possible to actually do, if it would damage anything or whatnot. I don't know. You won't have higher voltage, so that's a problem, I think. I'm not entirely sure when, because you have some rules when you have higher voltage panels and some lower voltage panels. You have to take the lower voltage panels and use that number for the other higher voltage panels, because apparently it lessens the voltage down, as far as I understand it. But what about batteries? If you have batteries that are higher voltage, as far as I recall, the other, the panels should be able to do more than, they shouldn't be hurt by 24 volts or 25 volts. So I wonder if I can actually just put them in, if I can put them in together, parallel, if that actually would work. There are something about that the panels can actually directly charge a battery and all that. Of course, they are 18.8 voltage, so they should at least be high enough to be able to charge a battery. No, that's not possible when I have it in 24 watts. Oh, sorry, voltage at the moment. But I can put them down to 12 volts. I'm not sure that's a good idea. I really don't know if it's possible. I know you can get a controller, which was the idea, to get a controller and just get the things into the controller and further to the batteries, and from the batteries over to the unit. That should be okay. It should, I would think. That was at least the idea, but I guess if it's not going to work, I guess it's going to burn something off, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Or maybe it's just not going to work as I thought. But yeah, in regards to this meter thing, I think it was on the Anderson side that I've ordered things from. You gotta be kidding me with this. Well, I guess I can maybe. Can I put it over here maybe and just cool it off? That would actually be pretty nice if I could just set it here. At the moment it's blowing wind out, so I could, if I could just set it at maybe over here. Can that be done? Oh, there we go. Well, it should be blowing some air now, hopefully. Maybe not too much, but a little air should be blowing to the mobile at the moment. So from the Blue Yeti that is, trying to cool down, which is actually pretty cool, but apparently they don't have a sensor for the Blue Yeti EB70. So it's just, if it's charging so and so much, it will begin the fans. But if you have like something from to the 230 volts, it will start the fans in the unit at a specific level. I'm not entirely sure where, but at some specific level it'll begin to start the fans. But if it gets too hot and you close down a 230 volt device, the Blue Yeti will stop the fans, but it will still complain that it's too hot, and then it can't charge from the solar panels or from the plug. So it just stops charging Oh yeah, it's just ridiculous. So you have two fans in the unit and they just don't work when, when it's too hot. You would have thought that it's like, okay, the machine clearly understands that it's too hot. Well, if the machine is too hot, you have two fans to blow, right? That's the whole point of the fans. It's just awful design, absolutely awful design. It seems like the fans are just made to start and stop at specific points of load. If it gets 70 to 90 watts into the system, it will begin to run the fans, even if it doesn't seem to be necessary at all. It doesn't feel like it's hot or anything like that, and yet it will, there's only one blowout on the system, so, one speed. Now, of course, I've opened the Blue Edge further up, so it has huge amount of airflow now going through it. So I've just fixed it all around, so there's just there's more than enough room for it to it doesn't struggle to get things in and out for sure now. So it's getting a good amount of air through the whole system when they're blowing, which of course helps that it's not going to get heated. But the whole idea that having fans, finding out, oh, it's too hot, let's begin to blow, right? You would have thought that, even the unit itself can figure out, oh, it's too hot. Well, if the unit can figure out that it's too hot, well, maybe start the fans, Don't stop the fans if you're too hot, That's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, anyway, I think the other place where Anderson Power, maybe, was that the place I bought some place where they had some original Anderson. I still haven't gotten them. I will, it'll probably take some time. Oh, that's not the Anderson plugs. Let's see here, maybe I can find them on. Anderson plugs. Let's see here. Anderson, no. Okay. Pole plugs. I'm pretty sure I ordered a box of the plugs, but apparently I can't find it at the moment. Let's see, AV connection, all the temperature is still having its issues, apparently. Oh, power works, okay. And 150 pieces assorted, 15, 30, 45 amp Anderson power pole case by Powerworks. We have a tri-crimp and all that, power pole insertion, removal and extraction tool, and apparently it still feels like it's getting too hot. Maybe I need to get closer to the blowout, but that's going to be a little hard to do. If I could put it over here, maybe. Let's see if we can move the computer over here. Let's see if we can make it. Oh, maybe I can. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm not sure. Well, it's blowing on the front, but not on the back. And wood fire. Well, anyway, let's see how it goes. I fixed it a little closer to the. It's blowing out on the surface at least on the mobile. So let's see. Terrible. Old mobile. Apparently that doesn't do much of standard things when it did in the past. Anyway, Powerworks, apparently they sell power pole thing. Let's see if we can find. So I just bought a box of those, and when they come I can begin to see if I want to use them, if it's something that is good, instead of all these other CM4 nonsense cables and all that. And it looks like it's a pretty Also, some nice cables would be pretty nice. Some soft cables, some very nice soft cables would be very nice. Some cables are, so much better than others. So here we have a PowerWorks Megabox portable power box. Or something. Okay. But here we got another PowerWorks Wattmeter. It looks pretty much a little like the other one, so it's probably just the same. 2.4 amps. Well, USB 4.8. That would be 2.4 amps for both. I think I have something that is bigger than that. Wires and cables. Yeah. We are red black zip cord experts. We have the largest selection gauges 2 through 24 AWG, extra flexible soft copper for maximum flexibility and conductivity. Easy to identify polarity for DC applications, pulls apart for quick separation. So that sounds like they have some pretty nice cables. I don't know. But they say they are extra soft. Who knows? It might be some kind of. It doesn't seem. There only seems to be one kind of protection for the cables. They don't seem to be double layered. I don't know what the rules are for outside and all that. Usually it's not a bad thing to have a double fixed cable. But yeah, I have a very soft big cable. That's just very nice compared to some of the others. I guess it doesn't really totally matter much, but overall it's not like it's but it is nice to have some softness to the cable instead of having this stiffness. Now we have some connectors of PowerWorks retention clips, which is also very nice if you don't want them to loosen up, you can connect them with this little thing, and I think it will be very interesting to get them and try these cables out. We'll see. Let's see here. Well, here we have the PowerWorks Wattmeter. It looks like the same that I have. Pretty much exactly the same. And you also have this shown with optional auxiliary power connector cable, which I don't have. As far as I recall, they actually sell the auxiliary battery cable for it at the side. But I'm like, why wouldn't you just sell the unit with this kind of cable? Is that too much to ask for? I have 45 amps continuous, and the other one is called 75 amp continuous. And I think the 75 amps probably is more, although it looks a little different than the one that I have. Probably works the same, but the first one, 45 amp continuous, looks like the device that I have here. A little bit, it's marked with PowerWorks instead, source and load and all that. But yeah, they have the auxiliary power connector cable, which is a way that I could maybe, if I had it, could actually have connected it to a battery. So it could actually work from the very beginning in the morning, so I wouldn't get this, huge thing. So I could actually see in real time what the max peak actually is instead of this other peak. But I don't get why there wouldn't be a kind of, why wouldn't there be like a reset button on it, so you could just reset the data. Would be kind of nice, at least you would. Oh, here we actually have behind on that, it actually says minus and plus. Does it actually also? Yeah. Okay. So here we actually have minus and plus. It actually, I didn't see that. Okay. So maybe if I'm a little constructive or something like that, I don't know. Maybe I can get something into these two poles, plus and minus. I have some kind of. Sometimes you have these two blocks things. Where are maybe you could just take one of these, like these are, four, but maybe if I, if maybe I clip them or something like that, maybe I can make them go into the unit. They do seem a little bigger than these, maybe. Maybe this size. Yeah, maybe if I clip or cut this, something like that, maybe that actually could go in. Maybe. Not entirely sure. But something, where you could just... it's just terrible. Why in the world wouldn't they just have the plug with the unit? I did have like a 2 plug something somewhere. It's over here. Oh yeah, here we have like a 2 plug thing. Maybe with a knife you could fix it down to the, and then just plug it in. I don't know. This is minus and this is plus. I guess if I take this maybe and take a knife and maybe I could fix this into a little plug and connect it to something, well, 12 volt or something like that. It might be, who knows? Let's see here. Now that won't be easy. Do we have something I could, whatever. Let's turn these over here. Let's take the knife and just see if we can. It's not going to be easy. At least we got some of it off here. That's not easy. Not easy peasy. Let's see if that's going to. Way too big. This is way too big. Maybe this was too much. Oh, nearly there. There we have my that doesn't seem to be so good. Went a little too far down, I think. Sadly. see. Maybe you can actually just take these out and maybe just plug them in on the... Okay, maybe that's a way to do it actually. I just plug them in here and I can just take them out. Maybe. Okay, I need a little morph here. So we have one here and one here. I'm not sure if they can actually just go in and grab the, if that's the thing. Maybe. Maybe they can just be used as gravels or something like that. Let's try and see if that's going to work. No. No. Let's try the other one. Maybe that's better. So test it out. Yeah. Well, the first one actually does. It's a little close to the. Sadly, it's very close to the. Now we would need to put it in this direction. Now, of course, the problem is I don't know what is minus and what is plus. You know, how far would it be to just put a fix a plug with it? From the company. Okay, I have one down. The other is a little more damaged, so I don't know if that's going to work. At least it's first one seems to. Couldn't they just have fixed the standard plug, or at least fix the plug with it? Nah, this is not going to work. It will be. Well, we actually do have them in, but I think it will be very easy to short them. Sadly, they're not. They're. We'll need something at least between them. See if we can put something, and it might work. But you're gonna be kidding me. I also need to. Yeah, that's the problem. I don't know what is plus and minus in regard to this. Plus should be this one. And minus should be that one. I'll have to check if I actually have that in the right direction. And we'll see. I think this is going to be too big. We'll have to have here. Big, I think. Yeah, I just need to. Dropped it. Why in the world would they make it like a small thing? I think I got it in. Yep. Okay, at least now there should be some kind of protection between them. And of course the question is, I'll take this one out. And I'll just check if the plus and the minus is in the right direction. Or the minus is over here. Hopefully that's correct. Yep. Wait. Oh no. I should have been over there. Oh my. Typical. Okay, we need to fix this out apparently. Let's see if we can. This one. Okay. So we kind of had an issue here. So apparently I tried to flip things around in my mind. So typical. So this is minus. That needs to go in here. Apparently. Okay, we want to see if we can put that over here. Great. And we'll see where did put the electric plastic in here. Okay, and I'll take this should be the plus. I'll fix the plus in here. Okay. That might actually works pretty good, you know. There we go. That seems to be pretty good. Not entirely sure about the third one. I can even. Okay, let's see if it works. Let's try to check the fans thing here. Okay, if something blows out, I guess we did it wrong. Oh, seems to work. We actually have. So that seems to work. A little fiddly hoo, you know. But yeah, that was terrible. Yeah, I guess this actually works. It probably should. If I could fix it together, or just give it a little more protection, then I think this will actually do pretty well. So if you like fix the cables down here, and just fix some. Well, that's a good question. What I can fix to. It would be nice if I could, but of course, well, I guess you could maybe to. Okay, I'll have this up here, but I think it actually is pretty stuck. So if I can just fix some kind of, what is it called in English, so it doesn't get so the wire doesn't get taken off. There we go. here. There we go. I'm going to take one more, I guess, to just have a little more strength. And I think we're pretty much going, yeah. It's just going to be pretty good. Oh, I don't think we have any more tape of this. That's the last bit of tape. No, it's not perfect apparently. Yeah, I think this will do pretty well. So that should do it. It seems like it's pretty good. So I'm not entirely sure what the last thing is for, but this should do it. Like, look at that. That's a good question. It's not easy to show. Well, yeah, there we go with the wires. I just plugged it in there and just some electrician cable. It's not perfect and all that, but you know, as long as it works, you know, then it will be able to do what, yeah, turns on. It says around 0.9 volts, 0.10 volts, and it doesn't have any data on it and all that. So now it goes to 10 amps again. 10 amp peak. What's this nonsense? I don't get it. Why does it get this 10 amps peak thing? You know, I see the watt peak and see if that also still has some kind of memory maybe or something like that. I don't know. It says 10 amp peak. 0.09 volt minimum. That's at least close to, yeah, 1.0 watt peak. Oh, at least the watt peak is not, I don't know, in regards to the amp peak, you know, just seems ridiculous. Is that how high it thinks it can go? I guess it can. That's weird. I guess it can go higher if you actually, you know, I don't know if it's recording from. Clearly now there's a difference in regards to the the amperage peak and of course, you know, on this level it actually should be able to do 10 amps in regards to 12 volts, but I don't know. It's I don't know why it would measure that when it's just for the. No, now it says 0 amp hours. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's see the amp watt hours. 0. Yeah. And there we go, 10.34 amp peak. Okay, let's try to and 1 watt peak. So now 1 watt peak. Okay, we'll take this out. We'll take it in here. We'll see. Now it says 26.18 volts. So now the peak should have gone up. So let's see if the peak goes up here. Yep, volt minimum. Well, the volt minimum has already been, yeah, okay. Well, okay, I guess it's, let's try to put this in and see what happens. What's that? 10.34 amp peak. I have some volt minimum 48. 20. Here we have watt peak. Oh, watt peak 183.7. That's actually much closer to the to what it actually is. So it doesn't actually seem to now have taken this higher watt peak. I don't know why it would do that, but now it seems like it actually does what it should do. Yeah, 183.8 watt peak. That's a lot closer to because we have 182, 173. It goes up and down. So 183 watt peak would be much closer for sure. I don't know in regards of this electrician tape, but you could give it some glue. But of course, I would rather not use glue on it. But yeah, that's one way of doing it, I guess. I can fix it to the 12 volts to give it 12 volts from the unit itself. But again, why did they not put a cable for it? You know, it just doesn't. I think this is actually the box, isn't it? Yeah, this is the box. Would it be too much to put a cable for it? You know, in regards of the battery. I still don't know what the last thing is in regards. So there's like 3 connectors. There's the plus and the minus connector, and there's some other connectors which I don't know. But I guess if you clip these off, you can actually get some kind of connectors that can grab if you don't destroy them and actually use them, I guess, if you don't have anything else. Okay. It's stupid with all these things. Oh, it's getting pretty hot. Where's my... Oh, yeah. I don't have my... I don't have my... I do have this one. I guess I can fix with some... is it plus or minus? Let's get this going. Okay, that was the plus. Okay. I don't know, because that was actually a pretty... Well, maybe I can just... Oh yeah, I can also do it like this. I can fix this in. I guess just connect a cable to it. I guess I should actually have... Oh well, it doesn't matter. If I can just find I think we need a female, right? Yep, I need a female. We have a male here. We need a female, although I could also maybe take this off. No, that's not long enough, I think, is it? Nope. Oh, okay. Well, I could just take that off and put that in, but then I can't take it off and on. Yeah, okay, we need a female. Not have some cable thing. I'll have a little cable there, but nothing blue. One also seem too big. Oh yeah, that's true. We still have this one. That's way too big. Anyway, that's pretty good. Oh, we need some cable. Some small cable.
have something here, I think. Now we'll do. Let's see here. Something else. That seems to be pretty good. We could also just. No, we can't. I have some cable here. I would like to actually get it out. I'll just fix this down here. And I should, although I'll just take this one, fix it there. This one should be able to. Go. That's a little wire. Great, great, great. And there we go. And fix the fan. Side of the cable here, other side of the cable here, just a couple of wires. Yep. Just need a snippet out of each of them, pretty much. We don't need more. Oh, maybe even too much actually. Let's try. We just need a sheep lock, pretty much. Let's see here. So brown into red. There we go. Oh, that's easy. And blue into black. Oh, it's also pretty easy. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. That was very, very easy. Do we want to, just wrap them around each other a little? Let's do a little wrapping here. I just need to not the best tool for sure. Very annoying. Here. Right. I just need to hit down here, like this is minus. one, and a cable here for the fan. Oh yeah, there we go. Much better. Nice little cable we can put. Well, I guess we'll put it. We still need the. We still need to have access to the to taking it off and on, I guess. So we'll just fix that there. There we go. Great. Plus and minus. Yeah. That's pretty good. It's incredible how many things I'm actually using. And it's nice. It's a little here and there. So we worked that out. Yeah, it's probably too much of a. There's some pretty big cable things over there. Probably shouldn't have used that big of a cable. I should probably have used just the small cables. Although it gets less of a lowering thing, but I guess it doesn't matter much when you are not going long distances, you know, just sitting at the table here and all that. So okay, so we have 184, though it says 175, 177. So again, we have. Did I turn off the computer or something like that? Apparently I turned off the computer. Apparently I must have done something that turned it off, apparently. That's not good. Oh well. I guess I touched something. There's some wires, you know, that hasn't been protected here, you know. And so for that, so whatever. So that might be an issue. So yeah, but not totally satisfied with. Let's see what the watt peak is. Let's see here. AP 10.34. I am peaks. How does it calculate that, you know? And we have 184 watt peak. That says that's the maximum. Let's try to take that off again. What happens then? And it remembers the settings. Okay. So I guess you both have to disconnect it from one and the other to make it forget its information. Okay, so the question is, where is it? Well, it's connected here. Apparently, it still have connection. Okay, to the source. Okay. Let's check that. Now it just shows. But that would be the voltage minimum now. So now it should be volt minimum 0.10. If it actually, well, I guess it depends if it doesn't want to calculate from the. Now it says 0. Okay, now it says 0.10 volt minimum. So that's the minimum, right? That's what we said. Okay, we'll put it in with this one. It says 26.21 volts. Let's see what the minimum is now. Now it says 26.21 volt minimum. I don't know. It's a little higher up now, but why would it actually? I still don't get this volt minimum, you know, because it still only fluctuates a little from what is actually there. So it does says lower than what it is, but yeah. Anyway, turn this off here. See here, and plug it out from
this. You need to plug it totally off to reset the stats, it seems. Although the amperage peak thing apparently still seems to, you know, Wattmeter turning off. Okay, waiting. It still says 10.32 amp peak. Okay, 10.32. Okay, so what happens if I do like this? 10.32, right? Let's see. Maybe it's like a setting that it remembers for a long time. That says 10.30 amps. No, okay. 10.30 amps, okay. Why is it saying 10.30 amps? 10. 10.33 amp peak. I don't get it. Where does it get this amp peak from? Watt peak is 1 watt. So you have 1 watt at least on this one. And what do we get if I put this on? Do we get a higher watt peak or waiting. It takes a little time for it to 11.0 amp peak. Again, where does it get it from? Volt minimum, yeah, okay. It says 288.9 watt peak. So, okay. Let's try the motorcycle battery and connect that and see. That should be a lot lower if it's going to say how much watt it can provide. If it's because of the, let's see what it says. Well, amp peak is still 10.31. I don't know. I don't understand that. We have 12.58 volts. And we have 129 watt peak. It hasn't done. Is that just doesn't get, you know, it. I don't get it. If I put this in, I probably won't get this thing that they say, and that won't be the thing that has given. It's just a. I don't get it. I don't get it. I thought the watt peak would be the thing that it could, you know, that it would have been doing. Let's put it in the machine and see what it says. I like 50, 40, 41, 32, around 30 watts. How does that calculate to a watt peak to that is like what, 100 and 129? How do you get a watt peak like that? You know, it just doesn't. I don't get this. How does that sort that? I just don't get it. Well, anyway, we'll just take this. Well, this is off. Well, let's take that off here. We can also try the solar panels here. Let's see if we can get the cable. Apparently the cable is a little from below. Just plug that in here. See what we get. 19.8 volts. Yeah. 0, 0, 0. Yeah. 10.31 amp peak. 19.04 watt minimum. 196.7 watt peak. I don't get it. I would have thought that the watt peak was the peak that it did while operating, right? Doesn't that make sense? I guess maybe it's sending all this flow and then, I don't know, this instrument does something. I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Or we can put it in, but I'm kind of tired of this lamp that is all over the place, you know. It's a nice lamp, but it's kind of all over the place in regards of. Maybe I need to plug it down a little below. Maybe I can turn it more around. Just underneath the input plug is kind of annoying. Although I have a way to actually sort that out as well. I have some 90-degree plugs that I can fix. Can fix something in regards. So can I see here 18 point. Apparently the solar panels doesn't do much at the moment. Actually 0 watts apparently. I guess it's pretty dead outside. It's not good weather. And the solar panels are pretty much dead. Interesting. This, of course the blue edgy is not turned on at the moment, so the fan is not, well, it's turned on, but the fan is not, of course, not moving while. Okay, so the solar panels are not doing much at the moment, and let's just get the machine going again so we can have it blow some air on the. Okay, so let's start out with the 24 volts here. Turn that on. I'll fix this one here. Yeah. Okay. We have the amp peak again, 10.35. I still don't understand that. Volt minimum. Yeah. Let's just give me a break and I will just get to it. Watt peak. There was no watt peak, so that was, that's again interesting. Why is the watt peak then now 0 when I turn it on like that? First give it the juice. Maybe it's because of the first hit of the unit, So let's see what happens if I put it in. The watt peak is 0.9. Now it's 173. Now it actually goes up according to the wattage, which I would expect it to do. Let's see here, 173. Let's see if it actually follows the watt, We have the volt minimum, which, still kind of weird. Watt peak, there we go. So it shows now it actually shows how it should, as I would have thought it actually would work. So it actually shows the maximum watts that it actually have gone into the system. Apparently when you don't turn it on with some kind of secondary battery, apparently it gets a huge wattage bump or something like, even if there's no load on it. Apparently it's just, I should be getting some oxygen now, so it should hopefully be lowering in regards to the heat and all that. But yeah, it apparently seems to, when you just connect it directly without a battery source for it, it seems to just take the maximum watts that, a surge, which of course is way above what you normally would get. But that, if they could have fixed it with a reset button, if they just have fixed the reset, you could just reset the device after connecting it and after running, that would have worked itself out. It's just bullshit. Maybe I can find a precision meter with a reset button on it. Kind of would be the way to go. It's just bullshit, I'm just sick and tired of the nonsense. That's, doesn't make any sense that you need to do. So maybe if I connect the energy to it, and again the amperage peak as far as I understand, it should be the maximum amperage that it goes through the system, but that's not the case either. It goes up to 10.36 amp peak, and I never get 10 amps, in regards of standard running, in regards of under load. You have 6.82 amps at the moment, and the system can handle around 8 amps. Of course, it might surge up and all that. I understand that, but that's not the data. I don't want the data of the surge of the connection where it might just make a bump. I want the amperage from its running load. So that doesn't really make sense to me, and I don't know. It's hard to understand how the watt peak can actually be fixed when I do like disconnecting a supply, but the amp peak is not working out. It doesn't really make sense that it says that it can 10 amps, but you don't have the watt peak. If the watt peak is around 0.1 watt or something like that when you connect it, and you have the amp peak to 10, how does that work out? That the amperage is 10 but the wattage is only 0.1? I don't get it. Anyway, whatever. There should have been a reset button on this device. I think sadly it's I wouldn't give it much. It's nice to be able to see things, but you gotta be kidding me. It just stops working, this and that it needs to have. I can't just from the morning just start up. So you would need to get up in the night, fix the source, or at least when it stops producing and all that. And you would need to have it connected to 12 volts connection or whatever, battery, whatever. It can do different voltage and all that. I have 12 voltage at disposal so you can connect it to the 12 volts and have it running all night, and then I guess it might be able to. But if it still show like 10 amp, amp peak, where does it get this 10 amp peak, You gotta be kidding me. It must be from, well, anyway. Let's see, maybe it's better to, it's like this thing should have been a little more, but I guess, pretty much the way to sort this out, I guess, is to use one of these angled cables that I have that might actually work out for having this at the specific place that I have it. I could maybe also put it to the that might be a way as well actually, but that might have it do have some let's see here. Have it this way, and we have it. Go. Maybe that will do as well actually. Let's see if that actually works out to, we could. Problem is it doesn't stick there. That's the problem. These car plugs are just terrible. They tend to jump out of the plug again. They don't lock or anything like that. I found out that there are some of these car plugs that are better than others, and this is one of these that just, at least according to this car plug, it just jumps out again. Apparently there's different kind of interaction. Some plugs are better than others of the car plugs, at least in regard to this device. That's just terrible. If you actually put it at an angle of 90 degrees, it will be easier to stick. Of course, that was not the point. Anyway, there's two ways to, I guess, get around in regards of my light source here that I can do something, I guess, about. Let's see here, what did we get? Okay, We have the cables. We have one cable. That's not it. It's one cable here. Okay. We could actually also have put the cable. I have that's connected to that one. Yeah. Okay. Gets a lot of cables for sure. We have them here. Okay, found them. Oh, that's just not much. They're not that bright, so that's kind of hard to find. Even if they're color coded, it's bad color coding. There we go. There we go. Okay. Like gray, who would put gray as a color coding of, black blue or black green and all these color codings, just terrible. Anyway. Yeah, it's kind of terrible that the car plug is not any better. Yeah, it's pretty much terrible actually. So I don't know. Maybe I could. It's going to be. Well, anyway, let's see what it says. Amp peak is like still a huge number. That is just like incredible huge. Volt minimum is a little lower than. Watt peak 180.3 watt peak. Yeah, that would be what I expect. But yeah. If they just had a reset button or something like that, maybe, I don't know, in regards to the third connection thing, maybe it's like, maybe that's a reset thing, who knows? I don't know. No idea what the third thing is. Maybe that is a reset, who knows? It is something, of course. It's like a thing, but I'm not sure what. Is there actually two more? Well, actually, it's 2 plugs in total. That's 4 in total. That's not 3. That's 4 in total. Okay. Do we actually have one of these 4 things? This one has 4. That probably is too big. Maybe it's one of the reset functions that it maybe have, but I don't think this would be able to. Nope. Well, looks very close. It looks very close in size to actually be able to do. Well, I don't think it will work. I think it will still be too big, sadly. So, but maybe that thing is actually. I'm not sure. Maybe it is a reset function or something like that. Maybe not. I don't know. It's like a thing round. As far as I recall, there was nothing in the manual talking about it. So, of course, why give the information to people about things, right? Let them figure that out themselves, apparently, right? But maybe it's a reset function. I don't know. Of course, I could try to just, fix something, and it's going to. No. I think there's only 3. Yeah, it's just the 4th one. That's just, isn't it? Yeah, it does seem there's only 1. But But the question is, what is it? Okay, some kind of what? Just there's plus and minus, and then there's this thing. I don't know. What is it? No idea. Guess I have to. Okay, yeah. Maybe we can call them up. Maybe it's recording at the moment. Maybe they have like a way you can call them up and just ask them about things. Have I closed my computer down again? It seems so.
apparently. Guess the connection is not that good at the moment. I have all these things all around. Let's see, there we go. Come on. There we go. Let's try again. Well, the computer is still able to turn on, but I guess I'm hitting something that makes it, well, apparently the connection is apparently broken because it hasn't shorted, so. I do wonder what's possible in regards to like 18.8 volts, right? Can I actually connect the 12 volt batteries to it? It does talk about that you can actually connect solar panels directly to batteries, but I'm not sure how that will work out. I don't want to ruin them. And of course you could connect it to the batteries, and then from the batteries to the Bluetti, maybe. And that would be around 18.8 volts still, and I don't know if the batteries will then suck down the voltage. I guess that might be the case. I also tried to look for, you know, the television, whatever it's called. It's a low energy thing. I found it thrown out for trash and all that, and it's running on 12 volts at the moment. Well, 13.1 voltage actually, and it's set to 14 volts. I've had it running on 16 volts and 13.1 volts. So that's doing pretty good. So there's some room for sure. But it's kind of a fixed little thing. It took a little time to sort it out, but it's running on 12 volts. It doesn't look so good behind the things, but it's working. So, and apparently not losing connection either. So that's nice. To get losing some fat, it's not going to go. Okay, anyway, I need to stop this nonsense of eating myself too fat, eating myself fat too. Butchering, whatever, anyway. Okay, let's turn that on again. It's a slow computer, so it's takes its time for sure. See here, red black bounded zip code. But anyway, I'm not too happy about this little device. Again, I don't know if there's a reset button, if this last thing is a reset. Maybe they do have a email or something like that. Email customer service. Also, they also do have, or you can call them, so pretty nice. Oh, I actually have already made one. Create new ticket. But okay. Oh, I actually didn't. Although what is it called, that accelerating cable or whatever, the manual someplace. That's true. The auxiliary cable, okay, let's see here. Shown with optional auxiliary power connector cable. Okay. Well, I can just ask them in regards to their own product, and that should be pretty much the same. It is okay. Okay. What is the optional? What is the optional auxiliary
power connector cable. What's the third wire in the, like you have plus and you have minus, then plus, and then horseshoe. Let's try to ask them, see if that's. If I can find the place. So here we go. What is the third wire? Third wire in the optional auxiliary power connector cable fault. Did I write that? Connector. Like you have minus, then plus, and then a horseshoe, question mark. Looking forward. Anyway, apply. One moment. Okay, so flag is not junk. Oh, apparently it was flagged as junk, apparently. Are you Anderson real authentic plus? It seems radio guys do point to your website. Hi Darkijah, yes, we are a authorized Anderson power product distributor. All Anderson products sold by us are authentic. Okay. Thank you so much, and your crimper is the best of the best. I think I'll order a huge set from you guys. Thanks so much, one the authentic real thing. Ye should be with the Darkijah Denmark. Flag does not junk, right? Because we can't wish anyone anything in regards of God, right? Oh yeah, that would be terrible, right? And we have so much censorship, devilish censorship on the internet. Yes, our tree crimp tool is a very good tool. All our customers that purchase it loves the quality. Sincerely, Jeremiah Gonzalez, Team Powerworks. What is the third wire in the optional auxiliary power connector cable for? Like you have minus, then plus, and then a horseshoe. Looking forward to receiving the Anderson pole plugs. Anyway, okay. Actually, that seems to be a very nice site for asking questions. Apparently, I'm not even sure I'm logged in, but apparently it's. Although this is a ticket, maybe I should have created a new ticket for this. So maybe maybe I should have. Okay, some okay, I'll have a local and a toll-free. Let's see, one moment. Great, that's very nice. That's like easy peasy, like in the old days when the internet had some sanity. That seems to. So Powerworks is the ones that I've ordered from in regards to the answers and plugs. Like you have the radio guys and all that. They talk about Powerworks. It's made with an X. Powerworks. Works. X. Not with a KS, but a X. And then WERX. Power. Works. WERX, whatever. And apparently that was what the radio guys seemed to talk about, that, of course you can order them from other places. You want to find the original Anderson plugs. It's interesting. So you have the red wire that seems to be the plus, then you have the yellow wire that seems to be the minus, and then you have a brown. Let's see, maybe that's the ground or something like that. It just doesn't. Yeah,
maybe that's a grounding thing. I don't know. Powerworks.com, battery, solar. We have the auxiliary battery, 5 to 60 volts. Power meter and power analyzer. So you have 45 amps continuous on this device, for example, and you have 100 amp peak. So it can do, I guess, 100 amp peak. Well, I guess it should then be able, yeah. Of course, I don't need more than 8 amps continuously, so it's far beyond, you know, the thing I have is still far beyond what I ever need, and just a little tiring that they do have another model. It looks a little of the same, although it's a little different in regards of its. I have one of them have 12 gauge. I guess gauge is the WB or AWG, are the same as the AWG. You know, yeah, we need to have a lot of different wordings in regards of things, I guess. And the phone seems to be keeping cool. You can see some of the hole from the Bluetti, and it's blowing air out, you know, while it's charging, and it's pretty much cold air. Maybe one could actually make like a thing where I put, you know, where I can fix the, you know, that actually would be pretty nice. Then you could have like or you could actually make a fan out of that, I guess. If you had like a thing where you just plug it in and just, you know, fix the air in the direction you want it. Oh, that would be awesome. You could actually get some air at you, you know, whether warm or that would actually be pretty cool to direct the. Let's see here. Do we actually have a? Let's see what that would be. Air flow diversion direction. What's that? Has to be around 8 centimeters or 10 centimeters or something like that. Do we actually? Let's see, yeah. Have a little small here. It's around 7 centimeters. Yeah, around 7 centimeters. 7 centimeters. That could be actually pretty cool to actually do, like a diversion, like a thing where you just divert it, you know, and just plug it in there. It shouldn't really. Yeah. That would be pretty cool. Airflow. What is it called? These things where you can just around hole cylinder, maybe cylinder. Some kind of how to create airflow cylinder shape. I don't know what a thought tunnel maybe airflow tunnel maybe, because then you could actually use the air for something, right? You know, you just blow it the way you want to have it. You know, that's tunnel. Must be some kind of tunnel thing that you can buy. Let's see, a fan tunnel. Oh yeah, here we have something. It's not like it needs to be stiff. Stuff that's 12 inch, that's 5 inch. Duct. Okay, duct hose. Duct. Maybe it's called a duct. Okay, let's see, a fan duct. For air. Oh yeah, flexible. That's an aluminium. Silver. I have to have something that actually can and stay. Have some kind of solidity. Ventilationsrør. Okay. Have to have some stiffness. Fan air, but the flexible, that's 10 millimeter. It has to be 70 millimeters. I guess something like that. Here we have. That's 80 millimeters. That's still too much. Well, I guess maybe one could attach it or something like that. But a 7 diameters. That's 6 meter. Your Banggood heater duct, hot cold air ducting for diesel heater. Solid stiff. Here we have some duct fan ventilator, blah 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 blah. Here we have that's heating. That's 90. That actually looks like 90 degrees. Air car heater ducting pipe hose line for diesel parking heaters. Actually, I have them in 75 millimeters. It's a little more than I should be able to. 5 millimeters. Should be, yeah. If one just, I guess put in and just blow them out to the sides, maybe. Just get them in there and. Nah, I'm not entirely sure. Well, yeah. If I actually put it, I can take the side off and you can just put it in there and just fix it out and fix it to the thing. And then, that would be pretty good. Then you could actually direct the airflow in the direction that you wanted. That would be pretty cool. Well, it has to be some sense of solid. Well, that would be interesting. 4-inch duct fan air ventilator pipe. Okay. But that must be something that is, stiff. Oh, how much is that? Well, it's like still 80. It has to be some kind of stiffness. Buy duct fan 70 wing duct fan. Oh. There's some different kinds of. $70 all duct, all sizes funnel. That's a air duct funnel, multi-choice, whatever. You can actually just put it on and just have it. Yeah. Maybe it's a little too much. That could be interesting, but it's an idea, Alu air ducting. Again, it has to be stiff, so we can. I guess a lot of these things are not stiff, so. I have 50 millimeters aluminium heater ducting thing. Heater ducting 2.5, 63 millimeters. That's too little. Well, I guess if you had like a thing that actually narrows it down, I guess it's. But we have these kind of. I think we might actually more have like a plastic thing. One of these 90 degrees plastic things, and we just need them in 90 degrees. I can actually just plug that in, and then have it blow out the air. I see a 70 millimeter plastic 90-degree thing. You know, must be something of that. Oh yeah, 90-degree silicon thing. Yeah, something of that. You know, if at least if it's over here, you know, I can just blow the air in this direction. 75 millimeters. That's close. Here we have some different ones as well. Let's see here. What a motor thing, you know. Let's see here what kind of diameters they have. Different sizes. Why do they like a silicone thing here? They do have a lot of different things here. That's too little. That's too much. That's too much. Okay, that seems to be 70. That's actually 70. That's diameter. Let's try to look. No, it's not 90 degrees. It's like, I don't get that they have like a picture of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. Well, and then they just these are the kinds that it actually looks like. But why you have different kinds and then they just say, well, outer side is this and that and all that. Well, you know, all of them can't be the same size, you know, because they're different sizes. So yeah, there's apparently a silicone thing. Maybe we just need to search and we can find more of these kinds of things. I don't know. No, they just have one size. I don't get it. The blue, and it's 91 millimeter outside. Yeah, but you have like 5 sizes shown, you know. What's the point of that, you know? Well, that actually looks like something, you know, something of that nature that one could actually just put, yeah, a thing in there and maybe have some, you know, direct, yeah, I don't know. Just a stupid idea. But don't you have like things where you can actually, yeah, you do have where you can just fix them. It might, you know, it must be, you know, I guess I'll maybe find it sometime. Oh, this is not bad either. 90 degrees, man, it's nearly good. Here we have some silicone again of well, anyway. Well, you can actually have it like where it goes to a big one to, so it actually goes from 18 millimeters to 70 millimeter silicone hose. Degree elbow reduce or red. Oh, I guess that could actually be pretty nice to, I guess, if you could actually get it like 70 millimeters to 60 or something like that. So of course it would be a little harder for it to blow oxygen out, but yeah. Anyway, just an idea. Maybe it's a bad idea, but it could have been interesting just to have the directing the airflow. Let's close that down again.
4-inch inline duct fan, yeah, ventilator, metal pipe. Some flexible thing here. Yeah, anyway, close it down. Oh, let's see how much it's. Well, we're getting 181 into the system, or 169. Apparently, that's, you know, one says 182, the other says 169. So 170, and the other one says 182. So which one to trust, I don't know. But there's some difference for sure. Around 10 watts of difference, it seems. 170 watts it says, and the other one says 182. So yeah, around 10 watts of difference apparently, in regards of its calculations apparently. So now that's another thing, I guess, that is kind of not totally on pair. I would think that the precise measurement would probably be more precise than the Blue Yeti, you know. So it's probably the Blue Yeti that is at fault. Design your own single conductor custom DC power cable. We have some of these heat shrink tubing kits, red and black. I'd rather actually have them transparent so I could see what happens inside. But anyway, black repair tape. Okay, repair tape. We have one of the, well, this is a PowerWorks panel mount for USB. Oh, okay. You can mount a USB thing up, okay. We have a SIG body, the portable cigarette lighter plug to power pole adapter, which I really don't need because I can just, but it's interesting to see that the plug that they use seems to be one of the better plugs for cigarette lighters, at least for this kind of female plug that I have. So that's a way to use the cigarette lighter plug as well, I guess. Oh yeah, I was looking into, and that's also a possibility, to get some of these smaller cables that doesn't point out so much. I still need that one. If we could get that one in a 90 degree, that would be the input in a 90 degree, would be pretty nice to plug it up. Just fix some kind of, yeah. Oh, okay, I've been tired. That's the vitamins. Yeah, but here we have one of these PowerWorks thing. Here we have some in regards of startup screen each time, blah blah blah, display, amp current. Only current from source to load can be measured. Drawing current in reverse will cause damage to the meter. The amps value display shows the average current over the last screen refresh. The peak amps value, AP, displays the maximum current drawn since the meter's last startup. Spikes or peak amperage reading lasting a fraction of a second may also be captured. Yeah, kind of the issue we have. Spikes or peak amperage readings lasting a fraction of a second may also be captured. It's just, and that's the issue. That's just stupid, you know. It's absolutely stupid, the volt minimum, the displayed volt value is the average voltage from the last screen refresh. The displayed minimum volts VM value is the minimum voltage or SAG measured on the source side since the meter's last startup. Well, that doesn't really seem to work, as it should, because that was what I thought as well, right? But it doesn't really do what it should. The displayed value is the total in regards to watt hours. Well, that's pretty much not the watts. Here we have watts and watt peak, right? The displayed watts value is the average watts amp times volts from the last screen refresh. The displayed peak watts value is the maximum watts measured since the meter last startup. So I still don't understand how it can say that it can draw 10 amps but maybe only have like 0.10 volts. But maybe it's still still having a surge of amperage, I guess, with low voltage, I guess. And doesn't really do much watts peak, so it doesn't really, but it's still disgusting that there's no reset on it. But let's see here. We have auxiliary power connector cable. Let's see if they actually say anything. By connecting the wattmeter directly to a battery or power source, the meter requires a minimum of 5 volts to power itself. However, if you are using the optional auxiliary power connector, the meter can be powered through the auxiliary source and measure the complete range of 0 to 60 volts. Another benefit of optional auxiliary power connector is that it powers the meter through the auxiliary source. The regular source to load measurement becomes more precise, as the measurement do not include the small amount of power required to operate the meter. Only 2 of the 3 wires on the auxiliary power connector are used. Refer to the wattmeter black housing for plus and minus indicators showing how to power the wattmeter using the auxiliary input. Okay, so I guess they don't have a clue about the third one, or they say, I guess it's not in use. Or maybe it was a reset button. It could have been nice if it was just a reset button that you could just fix and maybe reset the device. But I guess they must have tried and apparently not. I would think that maybe it could have been a reset function, or can be a reset, or maybe not. Maybe it's just useless. Maybe it's not going to be used for anything. I just don't know. See if they have details on the other meter they have. Probably the same, although just bigger, although a little different in the outer thing here. Yeah, they're just pretty much the same, it seems. So yeah, I'm not kind of satisfied with it, that's for sure. I think it sucks, so let's see if we can DC wattmeter with reset button. Apparently it's very hard to just fix a reset button, This actually looks pretty good, but it's for fixing into something, We have a relay 180 watt. This looks a little like the same as the other one. Here we have a DC 60 to 100 amp balance. No, that's a balance thing apparently. Sure, that's what. Okay. I think this was actually the one that he was talking about, but the problem is that
Check out whatever. We don't want any wireless nonsense. Yeah. Well, not. You know, it's you know you can use it, of course, right? It's not like you can't use it, right? But it's just some other things, you know, like you can't even reset it. You know, you gotta be kidding me. There's no reset buttons. You get these spikes. It just doesn't make any. Oh, if there's a spike, it actually will be able to Yeah, well, it doesn't make any sense. Just a little spike, and it ruins, you know, the whole point of, well, a lot of the point anyway, in regards of it. Buck converter DC to, oh, that was one of these converters. I don't understand why these are so popular apparently. What's the point of them if they spike the thing, you know, so you can't even, you know, the whole idea is to be able to measure, you know, and see, oh, it has gone so and so and all that, right? And you can't do that if they just, you know, record the spiking, you know. That just takes away from the, let's see this one, what is this? What is this USB tester, you know? Yeah, apparently that's not going to be easy to find something that works a lot of. And this one, but you need to plug it into something. Why have they made it like a power box, you know, whatever? This one is also pretty nice, you know, volt, amperage, and watts, right? But it's kind of made to fix in a box or something like that. Here's a Wattmeter analyzer. Just, you know, how hard can it be to make something that actually works as you want? You know? It's just disgusting. How can anyone give it such a high score when it sucks? Well, if you have a little, it will actually, yeah, it kind of will. It's kind of annoying, and then you need to find some kind of solution. There's no reset button or anything like that on it. Electric energy tester, mini meter OLED, whatever. A Wattmeter. WM 150 Wattmeter power analyzer. No idea. At least I have colors, you know. If I have one that says 2.5 amps, 10.51 volts, and 26.2 watts, and it seems to have, again, it probably is the same nonsense as the other one. We have watts, kilowatts, hours, we have volts, we have amps. Yeah. High precision. Yeah, not without a reset, you know. I really do wonder if that last wire could be a reset. You know, it could be nice, you know, to just have some kind of reset while it actually
That would be a nice feature to have. Just to be able to just plug it off for just a little while and just reset it. Unless that's too much to... Well, this one looks good, but I think it has... Bluetooth bullshit, right? Yeah, we don't want. This just reads the volts, the amps. I guess it's not totally bad, you know. It reads those three, you know, standard things, right? And that's not bad. I just, you know, when you have these extra things, you would just expect them to work as they should, and not. And not just be, you know, nothing you really can use it, you know, with like 10.65, you know, the spike, you know, the how do you not make it spike in the beginning, you know, can you sort out a way which makes it not spike, you know, I don't know. Yeah, we have volts, amps. Oh, that's actually nearly the colors I would have liked. Well, maybe I should still look on those USB things. I don't know if I have them open. Let's see what this is. Capacitor, milliamps, hours, source. Not sure what this is. Cycle thing. Wattmeter, 150 amps too. It has minus, plus, and S. And the question is, maybe that's some of the same thing as the other one. I was talks about. Okay, let's see. Maybe I have something in regards of on the internet where we can. Let's see on YouTube. So yeah, today was a very, very bad day in regards to the solar panels for sure. Just take this off actually, just put this one in and see how the solar panels is doing, but they're not doing good as far as I know. Nope, not even one single, one watt at the moment, so okay. Well, there's one of these guys with the batteries. Let's see what he says. Yeah, it's a cheap one, but I don't really find any of it efficient really, because I run computers all night charging batteries from mains. Means I might as well just use main power. I don't know. Oh, anyway, let's search on this one and see if there's a video on this toolkit RCWM150. Advanced meter tested. Yay! UVA. Let's see what it is. See if it's any better than the other one.
So I bought another meter to test. This is the Toolkit RC Wattmeter, and I've seen this for years on Amazon and AliExpress and Banggood and stuff like that. But it's kind of expensive. I think it's like $30 or $40. But you know, it does have like a full digital LCD display, and I decided it's time to test it out. So I haven't even opened it. Let's cut it open. Now, Toolkit RC is a very respected brand, so you know, this should be, you know, pretty good, and you know, should do what it says it should do, unlike some other brands. You know, nice packaging. Let's see what we got, Chad. It's a small. I have to say, it's smaller than I thought it was going to be. I mean, this is the whole box. Definitely smaller than I thought the meter was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And there it is.
Yeah, it does look smaller than maybe I would have. Yeah, okay.
Pretty nice packaging.
Well, let's just see it working. Okay, so we have...
Yeah, there it is. It has a little jog dial for switching screens and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
What is this? 12 gauge wire. So it says it's rated for 150 amps, but you know, probably shouldn't put 150 amps to 12 gauge. You know, probably 50, 60 amps through 12 gauge at the most. You know, you could spike to 150, but I wouldn't do continuous through at 150 on 12 gauge. So, anyways, I need to throw some XT60s on this meter, and then we.
I still don't understand this 12 volt thing. Why in the world would all these different, you know, use 12 volts? Because you need huge wires for 12 volts. Doesn't make any sense, you know.
Can do some testing with it and see how it goes.
I don't, you know, in boats and cables and all that, I don't get it. Why would you ever use 12 volts, you know? You can use 24 and then you can always go down, or 48, you know. At least 24 volts, you get a lot less of, you know, you can go further down in wire size, you know. And of course, you know, as I understand it, auto campers have issues in regards of not being too heavy. So you can take some kilos in regards of, you know, out if you can go smaller wire, or, you know.
Okay, this meter is wired up. The screen's a little dirty now since I was soldering it, but I put double XT60s on both sides.
Yeah, I guess these are some of the other cables that people use. Hey, thanks for the review. I had the same issue with the XT60 male versus female, so I switched to Anderson power pole. There's no male or female. All my RC chargers have XT60 connectors built in, so I'm kind of stuck with the XT60. What is an RC charger? I don't know. RC charger, what is it? Yeah, but that's another one of these different plugs, right? Because we always want to have different plugs for everything, you know, because we just, instead of just having the same thing. That's just annoying. I think I'm going to change everything to Anderson as well. You know, I don't know, we'll see. I can see here we have one of these ESDT box, which I'm not sure what it is, but I can see they have these plugs that he's talking about. This has also the same plug and all that. Who cares, you know, just fix a converting thing, you know, just on everything, you know, just, you know, click, 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 right? So everything is Anderson, so you don't need to, you know, have that issue. Anyway, I haven't gotten the Anderson plugs, but I still, I think it probably would be the best thing, but we'll see when I get them. Instead of all these different nonsense plugs, they look pretty nice, those Anderson plugs. I can understand the idea behind it.
And I do that on all my meters because sometimes when I'm plugging in things, I don't know whether I'm going to be plugging into a male or a female. So for testing purposes, I always install that.
Oh yeah, I forgot to. That's true. When I have that in, it stops the fans, of course. So let's get the thing here inside again. Let's just take the. Well, I guess the problem is I can't. It won't reset it. You know, you gotta be kidding. That. You know, I wonder if, you know, I can. I'll try at some point, I think, to see if I can actually reset the thing with the and make a short or something like that, and see if it actually makes a. You know, that should be possible to do, and just try it out and see if we can actually make it reset or something like that. But it would be nice if it actually was some kind of feature for that. So, anyway, let's see here. There we go. Because now it's going, 10.33 amp peak, right? Yeah. Just peaked up to. They have the, at least the watt is not peaking when you do this. It seems that, you know, seems to sort out the watt peak. Let's try this again. on. Wattmeter. Let's see, amp hours. Come on, amp hours, amp hours, amp hours, amp hours, amp hours. Watt hours. Yeah. And then we have, we already have 10.32. 10.32. We might also get a spike, I guess, when we do this. 32. Let's see if it. .32 still amp peak, again, but it's all the amp peak. What a great thing, right? Just give me a break.
Double XT60s, and it's incredibly handy having double XT60s. I just soldered these in with my big soldering iron. I must admit, I probably
we don't want to solder, we just want, Anderson.
Should have crimped them, since soldering together 3 12-gauge wires is tough to say the least, but we're all ready. So this is the source side, so I'm going to plug in, this is from my power wall, so I'm going to plug in this from my power wall, and there is the display. Very nice.
Interestingly enough, he also has one of these I have here to his side.
Interesting that we're pulling 0.3 amps. I don't know what's 8 watts. I mean, I guess the meter's pulling 8 watts,
that
just
might actually be
standing by, but
that's a good amount, 8 watts. But I guess with a huge display and all that, I guess that's
interesting. It's pretty cool. It actually has a graph, a running graph of your power consumption, and then there's your total capacity, time on. The display is beautiful. I mean, this is very nice. Now let's see what the jog wheel does. If I jog, okay. This can also so this jog wheel here, this can also control servos, and this is the servo pulse control. You can see it's changing the pulse control for the servo, so we don't care about that. Now let me press in the button and see what happens. Interesting. I was expecting that to be a push. I was expecting that to change menus, but actually all it does is lock in. And I'm guessing
I would actually
that's
also
a safety
expect
feature.
that, but anyway.
Maybe you set the pulse and then you lock it in so that you can't change. Here's the menu. Let me see here. Turn the knob. Yep, that's purely a safety feature. It doesn't, pushing it in doesn't actually do anything. That's how you set the pulse you want for the servo, and then you lock it in, and now it's locked. But we don't care about that, so actually I might as well lock it in, because I guess I'll never use the jog wheel. So this is just the only screen we will ever see. I am going to hook it up to this cheap inverter that I just made a video on, and how much I hate this thing. But for testing purposes, we'll use it. Let me just rig this up quickly. Okay, so let's plug this in. Okay, that's in. Yes, the inverter is on. You can see now we're pulling like 13 watts. And you can see it's graphing. Let me bring this up. You can see it's graphing that 13 watts. Let me do a couple things. Okay, so the load I'm going to plug in is an electric fan, because it should pull a couple hundred watts, and that'll be a fine test. So let's plug this in here. Okay, this is the lowest setting, and actually, what is? Okay, so there it's graphing. We are pulling like 3 amps. I have to say, this display refreshes so quickly you can't read the display, I have to say.
Okay.
It's and it, you know, I wonder if it's because I was complaining that this thing kind of does it's not a very good pure sine wave. It's much closer to modified sine wave, and I wonder if that's what's causing the power fluctuation, because it's jumping around so much. I wonder if that's because of the
Let's see if I can see a better quality of this. Yeah,
because
okay.
of how this thing works. Let me turn this all the way up.
Well, 8 watts
Okay,
or something
now
like
we're pulling
that.
max draw, hitting 4 amps there, 120 watts over there. It is actually a little more consistent, but honestly, I feel like the display refreshes too quickly. Yeah, I honestly feel like the display refreshes too quickly because, let me zoom you in so you can see what I'm seeing.
Yeah, let's see what you're seeing. Oh yeah.
You can see how
Wow.
quickly that display is refreshing.
Oh my.
You can barely get a read of how much it's pulling.
That's quick.
But again, I am wondering if it has more to do with the inverter than anything else. But I have other ways of testing this, so we might have to do.
Yeah, I guess, you know, maybe if it's more, you know, just really, you know, up and down. It's really
that,
quick. This, you know.
Let's do another test quickly. I'm going to unplug the fan. I'm actually going to plug in a second meter in line.
Oh, that's the meter I have. Yay. Whatever.
And then plug this in here.
He has these yellow cable things, you know.
Okay, let's plug in this second meter. And
That's the
zoom
meter
in
I know.
A little bit.
Watt peak. Let's see what here. Maybe he has the same issue with the.
Actually interesting.
No?
This
He actually, in regards to the amp peaks, it seems to actually show, you know, 5 amp peaks. So that seems to be much more reasonable instead of this high thing, you know. Apparently it didn't make any surge.
other meter is also jumping around a lot. Now it doesn't jump as quickly as this one.
Nope.
But yeah, look at the wattage usage jumping around out of this other meter. I haven't really seen that before. I think it's this inverter. I think this inverter is pulling. Yeah, I think this inverter is just the way it's not a pure sine wave signal, and the way it's chopping the incoming DC, it causes it to read high, low, high, low, high, low. Very interesting that they're both reading like that. Let me find a different inverter and see if I can get this thing to read a little better. Okay, I have hooked up my reliable pure sine wave inverter. This is a good sine wave inverter, and I'm hoping it'll have a cleaner signal. But we will watch these 2 meters, and we will see what they say. Let me get these in frame for you. This top meter is kind of hard to read on camera, but I think you can
Yeah,
both
that's the
see
same
now.
as I have.
Turn it
Well,
on.
he has an 150 model, so. Well, these are 12 AVG. This should be 10 AVG, I think. No, that's also 12 AVG. Interesting. The cables are the same size. Okay.
Wow, what a difference. Look at how...
Yeah, but the difference is still interesting because the watt meters are saying 120 and the other is saying 111, but maybe of course, no, it doesn't see. Of course it goes through one meter to the other meter, but you know, would there still be so much difference? One says 120 watts, the other says 111.
Stable, the watt
111, 121. Actually, it seems like the same issue I have here, where the Blue Edge is seemingly saying 10 watts of a difference. I wonder if it's, you know, this high precision wattmeter that is the issue, or I don't know. That's interesting. That it seems to be the same problem compared to another meter, although he just have the flip around. But 121 watts on the other kind of meter, the WM 150, and then he has the meter I have, although in a 150 amp version. Well, whatever bullshit they put on, right? But there's 10 watts of difference.
Voltage draw is
Pretty much exactly, 10 watts of difference, and that's pretty much the same I see here. 172, 182, and I'd say 184, 172. But still, you have around 10 watts of difference. That's kind of.
I mean, this is 120 watts. This is 110 watts.
Yeah.
So there is a difference, but look how
Yeah, there's a difference. Why is there a difference? Like, which one is actually
stable the wattage draw is.
Yeah, it's much more stable now than it was before, for sure.
What a difference between meters. Wow, that's crazy. Now, let's figure out which one is more accurate. I've always thought this one was off a little bit.
Okay, that will be interesting to see if it actually...
Okay, so what I have done is I have both meters here, and I have actually just let me zoom you out a little bit. I have redone the wiring here so that I am running the current through my Powerwall meter as well, so we can get a third reference for
That'll be interesting.
Amperage.
Yeah.
So let's turn on this inverter here.
24 volts inverter apparently.
And now, let me zoom you in.
Let's see here.
You can see this graph here is showing a nice consistent current draw. Actually, this is wattage, so a nice consistent wattage draw. It's saying we're pulling 120 watts. This says 110 watts.
Yeah.
And this is saying 3.8 amps, and this is saying 4.1 amps. I can tell you that my Powerwall meter says 4.08 amps, and this is 4.1 amps. So this is accurate and syncs up with my Powerwall meter.
You gotta be kidding me. So this high precision watt meter and power analyzer is not even high precision. You gotta be kidding me.
I always felt this one read off a little bit, but I think
little bit is like 10 watts, you know. You gotta be kidding me.
There's a way to calibrate this one, and I need to open it up and see if there is a way to calibrate it. But this one does appear to be accurate, so that's nice. It's interesting that how.
What? Oh, God, okay, let's see. Yeah, I have the. Thanks. Okay, the Blue 8070 ED, I think it is. What's he say? What rubbish. You gotta be kidding me.
Stable the wattage draw is now with this other inverter. Again, just goes to show you how garbage that other inverter really was. So I just opened this one up, and there is actually no way to calibrate it. You can't even see the internal board because the screen has been soldered over the internal board. So even if there was a pot, there's no way to get to it. So unfortunately, this cannot be calibrated. This meter does appear to be accurate, and I do like it. I wish, my only complaint about it is, if you've got this fancy screen and everything like that, why is there not a way to maybe have a couple other displays? You know, you have a fancy LCD screen and you got a knob and everything like that, but there's no way to put any other displays on the screen. I feel like that's a little bit of a letdown. But the meter is accurate. It's rated up to 150 amps at 50 volts. If you use this for below 6 volts, you actually use the USB to power it. But above 5 volts or above 6 volts to 50 volts, it is self-powered, and it just gets its power right off the incoming source power. Yeah, I like this meter. I will use it, definitely use it in future videos, since it is actually easier to read than this one, and this one's slightly inaccurate. You know, this one I'm sure is fine at higher amps, but at lower amps it is a little inaccurate. This one does seem more accurate, so I think this will become my new meter in the future. So hope you liked the video, and hope this is helpful if you're looking for a testing meter.
Okay, at least that was a little. That's terrible. Yeah, okay, so apparently this precision meter apparently doesn't seem so precise either, because I have the same issue. 10 watts of difference. He had 10 watts of difference. Just interesting. Well, a little more than 10 watts, but around 10 watts. 172 watts on one device and 183 watts on the other device. Around 10 watts, you know. That's just sad. Right, that's precision. Well, if you write it on the thing, right? High precision Wattmeter, then it must be true, right? It's disgusting. And how in the world could they give so big, praises for it? Actually, okay, here's another choice instead of the other one. Apparently, but the other one, as far as I recall, was one of the Amazon choices when I bought it. Apparently there's another choice now that they point out. In regards to a metal case thing, I just, it just doesn't. Let's see what. But if the USB measurement could actually just do more than, if they could do around 8 amps, that would be nice. There was still the other one I was looking at. I don't know if I closed those down from the US or. That was said to be able to do. And you seem to be able to actually also make your own interface thing, but it was all Japanese, Chinese thing and all that, but could have been a way to go. I guess it will lock down if it gets too much, or maybe it will just burn, right? Okay, Amazon choice, this one apparently. Voltage, blah 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 blah, and all that. Don't know. Who knows? It might be better. We can always look on. Maybe it might actually also be a pretty good idea to actually look on things on YouTube before actually getting something. That, who knows? It looked pretty nice, and everybody. Oh, we're closing down. Oh, the battery is done. That's pretty quick, I guess. I actually have another battery. I don't know.